Now it's time to check in with our own Jesse Irwin live in Pittsburgh doing a little turkey frying. Jesse?
Michael, it hit me yesterday that if I'm going to be spending Thanksgiving dinner on my own at home, well, I'm going to be the one making the turkey. And that's why this morning we're learning the safety precautions of frying a turkey. And we're joined by Chief Riley with the Pittsburgh Fire Department. This is the scary part, right? Is when you take it out, or is the scary part when you put it in? I mean, it doesn't have to be scary if you do it right.
If you do it right, if you follow the directions, it's a very safe operation.
Okay.
But if you don't follow the directions, putting it in, taking it out, anything that you do around here, and remember, you got a pot full of boiling oil.
Right.
So there's some dangers associated with that.
Yeah.
And the first thing, if we look at, we're set up here on the concrete. This is a nice, firm, solid surface. It's not flammable. We're not going to be able to set the concrete on fire.
Right.
But if I'm doing it at home, what I'm thinking about is where's the dog, where are the kids? Let's make sure we keep everybody away from this, because this could tip over. If somebody runs into it, you could have some real big problems there. So we want to make sure the area is clear of any type of hazards, anything that's going to tip this over with.
Right.
Follow the directions and make sure that you leave enough space in the pot so when you put the turkey in, the oil isn't going to spill out over the top. When you pull the turkey out, it's in a basket, but there's going to be a little bit of oil that's got to drain out of it. So slowly pull the turkey out and let all that oil drain out.
Gotcha.
Another thing you can see is we've put this source, the propane bottle, as far away from the burner as the hose allows us. So if something happens, we have a little bit of distance we can shut the fuel off.
And you mentioned this tactic of having some aluminum foil, is that right?
Just put some aluminum foil over the hose in case something happens. It gives you just a little more protection from the hot oil dropping on the hose, which is supplying propane to the burner.
Gotcha.
Now, all of these things, if something happens, does not take the place of calling 911.
Okay.
If you have a problem, if something happens with this, the most important thing is to call 911 immediately and let us get out there, because if something goes wrong,
right,
it could be very significant. So the sooner we get out there, the better chance we have of resolving the problem before it spreads.
And what's the, I mean, let's talk, I mean, if oil, let's say oil does, fly from the, how far back should people be? I just want to confirm that, is this 6 feet, is this 10 feet? I mean, you can't be far enough back,
10 feet is a good number, because depending on what happens, that oil can really spread.
What about that glove material? The glove material?
Well, I would use a pot holder or some type of glove. A good heavy pot holder is going to protect your hand. And once again, one of the secrets is not putting too much oil into the pot, so that there's a little bit of room. And when we look at the basket later on, you'll see that the top of the basket is actually below the oil level. So I can reach in there, grab the handle, and pull it up.
Okay.
And that's very important.
And are there any other precautions even after you turn this off, right? I mean, you're done using the water. I mean, how long do you want that to be sitting there to cool? What are those precautions?
Leave it cool for as long as you can.
Okay.
What's the rush? Go enjoy your turkey, because if you do it right, it's going to be delicious. So just let that totally cool off. I would let it sit there for an hour or two. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
But once again, keep people away from it, because even when I turn the heat off, the oil still is going to retain some heat. It's going to take a while for that to cool off. And when I take the turkey off, leave the lid off of the pot so that the hot oil can dissipate its heat.
Well, we really appreciate all of your help with walking us through these safety precautions, because it can be done very successfully if done safely.
Done right. Just like most things that we get into, if we follow the directions and we operate within the guidelines, you can have a safe and enjoyable holiday, and that's our wish for everybody.
Well, we appreciate you joining us this morning to walk us through that. We're going to continue this process. Coming up in a little bit, we are going to remove this turkey from the fryer, and then we're going to show you what happens when you put a turkey in, maybe not in the best way. So we'll have that and more coming up. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be back with more frying after this.